Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join me for a short and sweet championship review show. You can see we were due 3 championship midweek games, but the Brentford-Bristol City game has gone the way of the pair. So, just 2 results for us to talk about, that being Luton 0, QPR 2. And Bournemouth 1, Millwall 1. As ever, we'll start at the top and work our way down, despite being just 2 to choose from. So, easy call for the order today. And you won't have to wait. Some people complain about having to wait when their team's down at the bottom. Bournemouth 1, Millwall 1. Bournemouth, it's their catch-up game, isn't it? To move them to 23 and essentially the halfway point along with a lot of other teams. Millwall are a couple of games behind still, I think, even after this one. We'll check the tables in a minute. Down at Dean Court, Vitality, whatever you want to call it. There's your Bournemouth team. Begovic in goal. Cook, Simpson, Kelly is the back 3. Rico, Smith, the wing backs. The other Cook, Lewis and Lerma in central midfield. Solanke up top with Stanislas and Brooks flanking him. I think that's kind of where Jason Tindall is with that squad. That's his system. I think that's his 11 in the most part, isn't it? Give or take, you can see on the bench there, Billings played a bit. Stacey has played a bit. Maybe they come in and out. But strong team is what I'm saying for Bournemouth. Looks like there's an injury to Stanislas. I'll keep my eye on that because he's played well. Essentially the same system from Gary Rowett. He's been playing that a while. Maybe slightly differently in its execution from Jason Tindall. Bialkowski in goal. Hutchison, Pearce, Cooper across the back. Malone and McNamara, who's ahead of Marlon Romeo now at right wing back. Whether that stays the same. Heard some good reviews about him from my Millwall friends. Leonard and Woods, despite maybe some apathy from the Millwall fans towards him, remains in central midfield. And the front 3, and we had issues with goals for Millwall. On paper now, that looks strong, doesn't it? Wallace, who's been Millwall's best and only attacking player for about the last year. Zahor, who's got status and promotions and big transfers on his CV, do some goals. And Parrott, who's highly rated from Spurs. So does he just stick with that now and try and blend those 3 across the front row? That's been an issue for Millwall, scoring goals and therefore winning games. So this is a good result for the Lions, and especially considering they're behind. And look at that for a chance. How is Jed Wallace not scoring that? Look, edge of the box, clean through. I'll use that well-worn cliche. It's almost like he had too much time there. Begovic makes the save, so we give him some credit. But the attacking players should be scoring. Huge advantage to them in that position. But he doesn't open the scoring. Dom Solanke, however, does. He's in really good form. I think there's 10 for the season possibly for Solanke. Obviously, people are a bit suspicious of Solanke because what's he done? He's had big transfer from, was it Chelsea to Liverpool and then to Bournemouth, and this is really his breakout season after, you know, all of the potential and being at those 2 huge clubs and going off to Bournemouth, but he's finally scoring some goals. So good luck to him. He's not any age. He's 23. And this is a great finish, I have to say. I like Bialkowski a lot, obviously. 3-time Ipswich Player of the Year. And don't think he gets a lot wrong here. His positioning's good. And there's only a couple of finishes that are going to beat him from there, because you think it have to be a really great shot to go across the keeper there. You would think that the lifted shot to the near post, given the reach of goalkeepers, would be a tricky one to pull off and an easy one to save. But the low-driven shot, fierce shot, right inside that near post, if the keeper can't get down and the shot's firm enough, is the one. And that's the one he hits. It's a really good finish. He slams that one in low and early from the difficult angle. So I think I give the credit there to Solanke rather than... sometimes you hear this nonsense, keepers should never get beaten on the near post. I mean, really? If that was the case, they'd open up so much to the far post that they've constantly been beaten on the far post. I think it's not quite that binary, and I think a good finish can beat the keeper on the near post. And I think this is an example of that. So well done, Solanke. 1-0 Bournemouth. But here's the equaliser, and while you've got a set play and Jake Cooper, you've always got a chance. There's Cooper on the edge of the D there, on the 18-yard box. He's flicked that on. Matt Smith has come on as a sub, and he's just going to read that and poke that in for the equaliser. But from what I've heard, it wasn't just, lob a set play and get a lucky equaliser. I think Millwall were competitive in this game. Possession is heavily in Bournemouth's favour, but look at the shot count there, 15-6, and in terms of shot quality, 6-2 on target, 7 corners apiece. In terms of chance quality, it's more even with 2 big chances apiece. So, I'm not saying a draw wasn't a fair result, but a lot of people will look without looking at the numbers or the pictures and think, Millwall snatch equaliser at Bournemouth. Don't think that was the case, but get your thoughts in via the comments there. There's the table. Bournemouth will be a little bit irritated to not win a home game when they're unchallenged on the same day, to move back into second. But big picture, 23 games, 42 points, 3 defeats. That projects at 84 for the season. They're definitely going to be in with a chance of automatic if that is the case. We're just wondering this season whether we get 3 or 4 teams. Look, there's 5 teams projecting over 80 points. The chances of that happening and all 5 scoring 80 points is slim, because they'll essentially have to play each other at some point, and with 5 of them, that will proportionally bring the general points total down. But Bournemouth looking good, aren't they? And I mean, if you look at the recent results, it's 8 points in 5. They'd prefer 9 or 10, but decent enough if you can then follow it up with wins in other games. For Millwall, good result, actually. I predict they'd lose this one. Obviously, 10 games without a win, then the 4 points, then the defeat against Coventry and everyone annoyed again. Now a draw. The key is that wins column, isn't it? 11 draws in 22. They've drawn literally half their games, 2 more than anyone else in the league. And go figure, it's Bournemouth and QPR who have then got the most draws. Just need some wins, don't they? And the hope now is, they've always been tight, they've always been pragmatic. Can they knit together Wallace, Zahor and Parrott up the top and get enough goals from those 3 to start winning games? We will find out. Get your views in the comments. Bournemouth 1, Millwall 1. And in the other game, it was Luton 0, QPR 2. I was having a bit of a existential crisis in my predictions video. I was struggling with this one because I thought, and maybe I should stick the clip in here, that Austin might make a difference. I didn't think to the point where QPR would go and win, but I thought he could make the difference between Luton's home form and maybe force a draw. Turns out, I was kind of right in that theory, but even to a greater extent, because they went there. It appears Austin's made the difference and they've won the game. Obviously, a clean sheet helps as well. And I was having great fun with this. Bright Asai Samuel did play left wing back. So I owe SofaScore an apology, because I looked at that and I thought, nah, what are you on about, lads? Come on, you got that completely wrong. So hands up there. I checked the heat map. He did play left wing back. Interesting for Bright there. Still going to be heavily linked with moves away, but a new role, let's just say, for him. I think they're missing Ryan Manning there. That's really scuppered them in that position this season. No disrespect to Nico Hammerleiden. So anyway, the team, Dieng in goal, Dicky, Cameron, Barbet. So Kane and Bright Samuel at left wing back. Bull and Carroll sort of sitting with chair licence to get forward. And Dykes and a partner now in Charlie Austin. So this could work really well. Not only do you have Charlie Austin proven goal scorer across his whole career, returning to QPR. But will it help Lyndon Dykes, who hasn't been hitting the heights? I think scored penalties, hasn't he? But otherwise, he struggled. Will A, working with Austin on the training ground and that extra competition improve him? And B, is he better in a front two? We will find out. Some strikers just are. There's your Luton team. Sluga, Bree, Lockyer, Bradley and Potts. Norrington Davis back at Sheffield United. Keep an eye on that one. Ray and Panzu and Dewsbury Hall across the middle. Luar gets to start with Collins and Cornick up the top there. And you would have made Luton favourites. They're higher in the league. They've got a good home record. But QPR do the business. And talking about front twos and link-ups and Dykes maybe not doing the business. Well, here's the link-up. Austin plays Dykes in. And he's in behind there. He can't quite get the finish there. Lyndon Dykes. Is he going to come good? They've invested a couple of £1 million into that transfer. So fingers crossed for him and the Rangers fans. Let's see whether a run with Charlie Austin in the team works. Remember, there's Macaulay Bonne and more from him in a minute. There's the opening goal. It's classic Charlie Austin, isn't it? Corner, flicked on at the near post. The big guys go near post. And good strikers find space in the box, don't they? They're on the move. They're intelligent. They can read the movement of the ball. They can read the movement of defenders. And there's plenty of strikers who just made an entire career out of that skill, finding space in the box. It's become less and less in maybe the last 10 years as strikers are asked to do more and more. But if you're playing in a front two and you get the support forward, you can afford to have that type striker in your side. And there you go, gets the goal there. Austin didn't take him even a half of a game to get back on the score sheet for Rangers. Look at that, spot the ball there. Can you see it hitting the angle of post and crossbar? That's Mpanzu 17. Beautiful curling shot. We know he's got that move in his locker. I saw him do it in the flesh actually against Bristol City last season. Down the left, inside central left position, cuts in, right foot, and he's got that shot. He must train and practice that one. Doesn't quite pull it off there. Great effort. Closest probably for Luton in this one. And there is the winner. And what that still shows you is Macaulay Bonne going very, very cold and finishing for 2-0. What it doesn't show you is the mistake by Glenn Ray in the build-up. Ball comes out the sky, miscontrols it. I think it's then Adoma takes it off him and he squares up Bonne. And I always think about what Ian Wright said in his book. You don't know when you're going to get the chance. First minute, 91st minute. When you do, you have to go cold. And Bonne does that. The ball's squared across to him. He relaxes. He takes his time. He has good technique. Find the side net in and you will score. And Macaulay Bonne does. And penny for Lyndon Dykes' thoughts there. I wonder whether they do still want Dykes' physicality or whether you might see an Austin-Bonne partnership. We'll see. None of them doing themselves any harm there in a 2-0 victory for Rangers. Good win for them. Morale boosting. I don't know how many they've been without a win. Let's just do the numbers first. Look, 13 shots to 9, 53% possession. 6 corners to 2, 4 big chances to 1. If I'm a QPR fan, I'm well happy with that. Whether it is just Austin was what they needed, that quality and that experience, that status, I don't know. We'll find out over future weeks to see whether this is a flash in the pan or not. But that's a sustainable win for sure. And some sense that the pattern of play was kind of there, but they hadn't clicked the pieces together. I don't know. Particularly when we saw them against Brentford, QPR. They played well and just got picked off, didn't they? So let's see whether Rangers can go on a decent run now. 4 points in 2 is always helpful. You know me, 2 points per game at any point in the season you'll take that. Luton in 14th, and I will say it, 11 points above the relegation zone, because we can't forget they were in League One, not last season, the season before. I've said now for a few weeks, Luton are a bottom 8 team without their home form. Their home form's great, and that puts them in the middle. So, you know as well as I do, if that home form slips, and okay, it's one defeat, I'm not saying it's a slip, but going forward, if that home form slips, Luton will trend downwards, unless obviously their away form increases proportionally to offset that, but we haven't seen any evidence that that's going to happen. So Luton, though, the one thing you want to see from teams in the bottom half is consistency of selection, ability to win games and score goals. And maybe Luton and Coventry down there have that ahead. We know what they're going to do. The players know what they're going to do. It's set in stone ahead of a lot of teams where there's a bit more chaos down in that bottom half. So good luck to Luton, but let's hope that home form doesn't slip. They are 14th. Rangers moved 5 points above Derby and Sheffield Wednesday on 19 points. Their Derby a game in hand. So that's our mini championship review. I've still managed to bang on for 15 minutes. Get your thoughts down in the comments. Quick thank you to Russ, who is a fan and now a friend despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. Russ is our sponsor of the championship review, so thank you very much to him. Thank you to everybody who subscribes over on Patreon. Patreon at the moment is the key to this channel and this channel growing and me being able to do it full time once the world is back to normal. So thank you to all the people who subscribed on Patreon. If you enjoy what I do, really, honestly, you can go and help for not very much of your hard-earned money. I know it's hard in lockdown and a lot of people are on furlough and not at work, but if you can spare the $3 tier, that's the lowest tier, just as a donation, as support, it really makes a massive, massive difference. And there are higher tiers where you get exclusive content, my predictions, etc., all in short form. Patreon exclusive Q&As, reviews I've done in short form as well. And we'll build the Patreon content up as the subscriber base grows. So please do go and check that out. It really is the thing now for me in 2021. 14,000 coming up on YouTube, but it's all about the Patreon in terms of my survival at the moment with the rate we're growing on YouTube, which is great, but it might not be fast enough to beat the world opening up again. We'll find out. So anyway, that was a very long and involved Patreon plug. What's more important is you hit subscribe on YouTube, ring the bell for notifications. And what's even more important is if you have a view, get it in the comments, because that's the cornerstone of this platform, is hearing in real time and you guys feeding back your comments. As ever, we're trying to make this channel the place for not stupid, emotional, biased football banter, arguing nonsense rubbish, but for conversations about football that aren't completely coloured by, oh no, you said my team would lose. Your bias for your team, which is why I'll always say, please leave your bias at the door. And why I always say thank you for watching and thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. I will be back. I think I'll be back tonight. We're trying to figure out how to get Amazon Prime on the TV here, and we can do Fulham Tottenham, which is a dearly departed game. And then, of course, it will be Thursday and championship preview time, live stream for that one. So come and get involved. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.